Hello everyone, welcome back to Movie Recapped Girl. Join us as we recap the shocking and hilarious return of a historical figure in the darkly comedic satire, Look Who's Back. The movie starts off in Berlin, around the time of World War II. The leader, Hitler, is hanging out with a behavior coach named Keppel. Hitler isn't cool with how folks are saying hi to Keppel. He grumbles that even if the Nazis salute his old hat, folks should at least lift their hands a bit and show some respect. Then he says that he's done everything he can to take down the bad guys who messed with their turf. He can't wrap his head around the fact that German's alive, and it freaks him out that he's here as well. In the next bit, he finds himself waking up on the forest floor. He glances at the sky, notices the enemy planes are gone, and figures they're probably taking a break. Out of the blue, a ball rolls up and stops right next to him. He gets up and walks towards a building just beyond the bushes. Then 3 kids come up to him and ask if he's all right. Hitler checks them out and figures they're the next big thing for the country. Then he pops the question, how to get to that street. Right then, a reporter named Fabian Sawatsky is filming the kids with his camera. You can spot Hitler way over on the other side of the screen. He grabs his military hat and thinks, I gotta head to the Führer's bunker. Hitler steps out onto the street and is blown away by folks cruising around on one-wheeled bikes. He notices folks filming him and shares that even though the debris is gone, people have lost it. Then he touches a modern car and wonders if he was in a coma and missed the win. He figures out that he doesn't fully understand what's going on, so he decides to gather up more details. So he tries to ask some guy where the chancellery is, but the guy just wants a photo instead. He's really bothered by the camera flashes as folks get close and snap pictures of him. With all the weird stuff going on, he figures something's definitely gone wrong here. Hitler strolls off and spots a lady chatting away in German on her phone. He walks up to her to ask what day it is, but she freaks out and sprays mace in his face. Hitler tears up, his eyes turning red and his sight getting all fuzzy. He trips up a bit but makes his way to the nearby newsstand. He's floored when he sees the date October 3rd, 2014 on the paper, and drops like a rock. Meanwhile, Karner, the head honcho at a TV station, is singing Mista's praises. Big props to Christoph Sensenbrink for doing such a great job as the deputy's head. He suggests a different plan, but ends up naming another employee, Miss Katja Bellini, as the new boss. So Christoph is totally surprised and not happy about this. He storms into his office and takes his anger out on a filmmaker named Fabian, who's having a tough time. Even though Fabian really tried to sweet-talk his boss, he still got sacked and the guards kicked him out. A bit later, Hitler wakes up in the newsstand, turns to the owner and asks what day it is. He makes it clear that it's actually 2014. A baffled Hitler wonders if he's been nabbed by the shop owner and thinks it might just be a sneaky move by the enemy's spies. He warns the store owner he'll whack him if he's on the bad guy's side, but the guy just hands him a chocolate bar instead. After a bit of a struggle, Hitler manages to open it and takes a whiff. He says it's just factory-made grain and asks the store owner if they're still running low on bread. The store owner asks Hitler if they're shooting some sort of documentary close by, thinking he's just an actor. The store owner then points out that he's the spitting image of Hitler, and Hitler's like, well, that's because I am Hitler. Then Hitler spots the Turkish newspaper and checks with the shop owner if they've got Sturmer or Panzerbar. The shopkeeper mentions he's got more folks from Turkey coming in. Hitler is surprised to see Turkish folks in Berlin. He then begins to gather info from the newspaper. As he's reading, he figures he must have lost the war back then, and Germany ended up being run by clueless women with all the charm of a soggy noodle. He also gets upset over Poland still being around and decides the war was completely pointless. So Fabian's just sitting there, crying while watching his own soccer reports on video, bummed out because he got sacked. No sweat, Fabian. You'll be able to work on YouTube in a few years. His mom soothes him and tells him to stop the video, catching a glimpse of Hitler in the background. Fabian finds it pretty funny that he stumbled upon someone who looks just like Hitler. At the store, the owner tells Hitler to put down the newspaper and wait outside. Hitler is annoyed because they want him to work. The store owner tells Hitler he should wash his clothes because they smell bad. Then he heads over to the laundromat asking them to wash his uniform. Hitler wants to know if they have any spare clothes, because he can't just stroll out in the buff. Hitler doesn't get that he's in present-day Germany, where folks are way chill about nudity. Next up, we spot Hitler strolling down to the news basement, dressed in jeans and a sweater. Hitler's looking sharp. Meanwhile, Fabian has somehow tracked him down and is chilling in the shop, waiting for him. After catching a glimpse of Hitler, he's blown away by how he looks. Fabian wants to know if he can record Hitler while he's strolling around present-day Germany. Hitler's cool with the idea. Fabian grabs some dough and a ride from his mom and starts his adventure with Hitler. So, they both wind up in a hotel, and Hitler finds it pretty entertaining to watch TV. Then he chooses to chat about politics during Fabian's show. He travels around asking folks what they think about politics. After chatting with folks, he realizes that democracy didn't really change much for people while he was gone. He notices people are unhappy and quietly mad, kind of like in the 1930s, when folks felt the same way but didn't have a word for it. You know, like being politically frustrated. People fill Hitler in on the immigrant situation in the country, which convinces him to stress his belief that different races shouldn't mix. Later on, Fabian pops the question to Hitler about where he got his standout mustache from. Hitler says he trimmed his mustache so it would fit under a gas mask. Fast forward a bit, both of them wind up on a farm, where a dog bites Hitler. He's super mad and fires a shot at the critter. Fabian gives him a scolding and grabs the gun. As the tour continues, Fabian finds himself broke, but he comes up with an idea and manages to talk some people passing by into getting their portraits done by Hitler. At last, Hitler gets to show off his artistic skills by sketching some funny, tongue-in-cheek pictures that folks really enjoy and are willing to spend money on. They hit the road again once they've saved up enough cash. When they get back to town, Fabian plays a video of Hitler for Christoph. Fabian put the video online, and now it's got a ton of views. Christoph is blown away by how many times the video has been watched. He asks Fabian for Hitler's name and phone number. After bumping into him, Christoph thinks Hitler's lost it and tells Fabian to get him out of his workspace. Before he takes off, Hitler drops by the director's office and asks her if she wants to help him save Germany. Bellini's intrigued, so he asks him what's the plan. As soon as she hears Hitler's idea, she tells her assistant to get a TV broadcast ready for the Führer. Fabian warns Christoph, give him his job back, or he'll snatch Hitler away. When Christoph hears about this, he gives him a job in the kitchen, telling him he'll move him up once there's an open spot in the editorial team. Being a kitchen boy beats being an intern, I suppose. A little while later, Hitler gets a table at the TV studio. Christoph rings up Kromeyer to give Hitler a hand with the computer. Hitler remembers the computers from his time and says they're one of the best inventions ever. Kromeyer tries to get Hitler an email account, but tells him someone's already snagged his name. Hitler's annoyed that people are using his name and tells her to go ahead and use the new Reich's office, 'cause he digs it. Christoph is thinking about bringing Hitler on a live comedy program called Whoa Dude. He's still upset because Bellini got the promotion he wanted, and he plans on causing her some problems. He plans to tackle racism in the discussion by making sarcastic Jewish jokes and mentioning Hitler. The show kicks off, and Witzigmann, who's hosting, invites Hitler up on stage. People are chit-chatting about Hitler showing up, but the moment Hitler looks their way, the entire room just goes dead quiet. Hitler quickly speaks up, but doesn't stick to the planned script. He says he's supposed to crack a joke about immigrants, but he's not going to. He thinks TVs are an awesome human invention, but the shows they put on are just plain silly. Obviously, Hitler hadn't gotten around to watching Game of Thrones yet. He highlights issues such as poverty and joblessness, predicting that the folks of the nation are unknowingly heading for disaster. Hitler swears he'll battle the TV, not just until it's showing nothing but static, but also until he's beaten it. Everyone digs the idea and gives him a round of applause. Witzigmann, the host, gets jealous when he sees how popular Hitler is. Bellini wants Christoph to feature Hitler in all the shows. Christoph is bummed out because his plan didn't work out. In the next part, Hitler pops up on a bunch of TV shows, saying he just wants to make Germany awesome again. Man, this movie was way before its time. He becomes super popular, meeting all sorts of folks and big shots from the party. He begins to win them over by throwing out his cool ideas. So one day, Hitler and Fabian decide to drop by the NPD's main office in Berlin. He gets in touch with Ulf Bern, the big boss of NPD, and wants to know what they've accomplished up until now. Hitler mocks him and says they've wasted so much time that their cause has been set back by decades because of what they said. Christoph starts buzzing with joy when the police and district attorney D shows up at the TV station. They say they're here because someone reported a hate crime charge. Bellini then asks, "So, what are we supposed to do now?" Christoph suddenly says they might have to scrap the Führer show. The D says that they can keep the show going on air. Bellini breathes a sigh of relief, while Christoph forces a smile. After the DA leaves, Krollmeyer gives Christoph a letter. It's about the money for the dog that Hitler shot earlier during his visit. Christoph is pretty stoked to get the letter, thinking it could stir up some drama. So next, Hitler is on a TV show where they straight up ask him about the different stuff he did in the war. Hitler says he wants to connect with folks, but the interviewer tells him there's no way to make up for all the bad stuff he's done. He shows him the video where he's shooting the dog. The video freaks out the viewers. Hitler gets mad and warns him that he'll get a taste of his own medicine. He also mentions that he'll transform their studio into a tank parking lot. Christoph starts feeling good when he sees people reacting badly. After the interview went south, Bellini got the boot and Christoph took over. Then Hitler moved in with Fabian. He finds it funny how life's turned out and begins to pen his second novel. The book will be out in stores soon. Fast forward 3 months, everyone's at the TV studio having a meeting about the huge financial hit the company has taken. Christoph thinks Witzigmann's show will get things back to normal, but one worker tells him he's quit. Christoph gets really ticked off at the chosen staff for messing up the show. Someone on the team throws out the idea of bringing Hitler back, and Christoph seems pretty into it. He's on the hunt for Hitler again and tells Fabian he'll put $1 million into the movie they're making with Hitler, if they allow them to show the movie on their TV channel in exchange. Hitler and Fabian show up at Krollmeyer's place, and Krollmeyer's grandma recognizes Hitler. She says Hitler used gas to kill all those people. She labels him a bad guy and yells at him to leave. While in the car, Hitler admits he's shocked to find out Krollmeyer is Jewish. He starts dissing Jews, treating them like they're not even human. Fabian's really bummed out by the stuff Hitler's been doing and saying. Back at the scene, Fabian convinces Hitler to go over again how he ended up there. He asks Hitler what went down before the ball got to him in the woods, but Hitler can't recall a thing. Later that night, he leaves the set and runs into a bunch of thugs. They say he's the one who'll put Germany back on track, and he's got a punch that can knock you flat. When Hitler wakes up, he realizes he's in a hospital, and Bellini is right there in front of him. Meanwhile, Fabian is checking out the video he shot of the boys playing soccer. He keeps a close eye on it and notices Hitler Rose getting up from where he was down. Fabian's blown away by what just went down. He rushes over there and finds a sign that tells him it's the historical site of the Führer bunker. Fabian hightails it to the hospital, but there's no sign of Hitler. Bellini mentions he's off to the film set. Fabian spills the beans that he's actually Adolf Hitler, but Bellini just can't buy it. Fabian goes a bit crazy, frantically trying to explain his theory. The guards are after him, but he makes a run for it. Then Fabian gets to the set and points a gun at Hitler. When someone questions who he is, Hitler says he never said he was anyone different. Fabian claims that Hitler is just tricking folks using his propaganda, but Hitler shoots back, saying people picked a leader in 1933 who was upfront about his plans. Fabian hauls Hitler up to a rooftop, gun in hand. He traps Hitler and calls him a beast. Hitler fires back, saying regular folks chose an extraordinary guy and trusted him with the country's future. He says folks picked him because they share the same beliefs deep down. A super-mad Fabian takes a shot at Hitler, causing him to tumble off the building and onto the street. Before long, Fabian hears Hitler's voice saying that no German can shake him off. And boom, Hitler, who was just knocked down, pops up again right behind it. Right then, Belina yells, "Cut!" in the studio, and everyone goes wild, celebrating the shoot. So it turns out they were just shooting a movie, and some random guy was playing Fabian. Then Hitler tells everyone to remember their buddies, who couldn't be there with them. Meanwhile, Krollmeyer is crying his eyes out, watching Fabian from a peephole in the psych ward. Hitler and Belina are tied up, signing autographs and chatting with folks after the movie becomes a hit. When they walk past a car, folks on the street appear to like Hitler and give him a respectful hello. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more incredible stories like this one, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. I'll be back with another video soon.